So what I did is measured to the center of the 4x4 post where my 2x4 is going to go, and measured it out. So I got about 103 inches is the average on all of them. So I'm gonna come out a little bit. I'm trying to figure out what my overhang is going to be and take into account for that and get these cut up. Also, I'm measuring across the bottom of my boards. We have 23.5 inches. So I need to cut 6 of those to put on the top of my post. I don't know if the vacuum helps at all with the miter saw. Well, that's all 8 cut down. Let's figure out those 6 posts. $23.5. Knock out 5 more of these for my top post. I already know I overthink things too much. I was contemplating on routering the underside, to give it a round over edge. Then I kind of thought against that. Now I'm thinking about putting some 45s on the ends. So I'm going through figuring out what's the best side of my board, the top side, what side do I want in, where you won't see all this damage, and then marking out my spots. So I'm just going half the distance of 2x4. Go 1 3/4 inches. Marking a 45 on it and taking it inside and ripping it down. Well, here we go. Another day once again. That should be my catchphrase on this woodshed series. Well, we're throwing a little paint on these, what do we call them, top rails, roof rails. Getting a little paint on them though. And I got an update. I ordered some metal for the roof. I found a company. It's about a 45-minute ride from here though, but it's the only place around. And they have the, what is it called, detailed metal at $2.50 a foot. I think Home Depot wanted like $4.70 a foot. And I found anywhere on Facebook Marketplace for old metal that has holes in it already and it's rusted, people usually want about $2 a foot. So getting some brand new metal that'll last lifetime, that's what I'm gonna roll with. I don't know if y'all can see that nice buck walking across my front yard. Look at him. He's going to my bird feeder. That was a nice little buck right there. It wasn't too hefty, but I think it might have been about a 6-pointer. I did not get a call back from the roofing company yet to pick up that metal. So that might have to wait till next week before I can get that. Well, it's Monday and it's cold outside. With the wind chill, I think it's 31 degrees. We have like 15-mile-an-hour wind, gust up to 25. And it's only gonna last a couple days. But I just made a 2-hour round trip. Went and got the metal for the woodshed. And it's a little heavy, so I'm gonna have to lighten the load a little bit so I could drop the tailgate. There we go, 15 sheets. I think that breaks down to maybe around $80 a roof per woodshed. But I got it from Home Depot. Man, that'd have been $150 plus. But I just got to figure out what my overhang is going to be on the sides. 4.5 inches. 9 inches is probably too much, because I think it's 9 inches from top rib to top rib. Let's start getting these roofs installed. But first, I got the top rails on one. So one down, one to go. That's my last end cap. Just kind of sticking it up there, throwing a clamp on it, get it in place. And I still got to tighten all these posts up. I'm just drilling a pilot hole because I'm so close to the end. I want to be splitting out my 2x4s. I'm using these 3.5-inch decking screws. Good and solid. I'll just check my levelness one more time. See what I'm sitting at. I did do a little round over on the side, give it a little more decorative look. Down to my last rail. So what I'm doing is coming in, marking my center point of my 4x4, coming down a 1/2 inch, kind of marking where the top of my board would be. What I figured out kind of last minute, I'm gonna do like a 1 inch high there, and I'm gonna slope it down. It'll be 1 inch low over here. So hopefully the water kind of just run right off the back side. So what I did, I just got a scrap 2x4 and a little lip on it. I just screwed a board to it. So what I've been doing, using this in the center, let's see, about where I need it. And this would just help me out when I put my 2x4 up there. Then I can kind of just set my rail, come over here. I'll just take my rail, set it in my little jig. But I'll just go right from the center, and I'll come up an inch. Now I need to get my 3.5 inches. All right, I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and lock it down. I'll check my center. I'll just have to slide it a little bit. Need to raise it up some. About right there. So yeah, this was an afterthought about sloping the roof to get the rain to drop off. I think it'll work out though. I don't know if I should have raised this up. I'm just gonna roll with it like that. What do y'all think? That's that. Let me take all this down to the other side. Once again, I'll double check. We got my inch. We got my 3.5. And so I know what you're thinking. The post is sticking up. Well, I got some, they call it 2x2, but really it's only 1.25 inch. So I'm gonna set that here on the edge, and that'll bring my roof right up above this post. So I'll be clear. Yeah, a couple of these boards are so twisted. I'm using the clamps to pull it together before I screw it down. I put the real twisted one on the back so you can't see it. So on the end caps, I put one screw towards the front. You know, my original thought this would be flush, you know, level. And then I could get my 2 screws to the front and this wouldn't get in the way. Then I put these 2 in the back because the screw won't go that deep. But you know, it still worked out even though I raised this up, you know, to give my roof a good slant. You know, it comes down to the pallets down where I attached a 4x4 post. It might have been a little crooked or something. It's making the post crooked, or the post could have just warped. All right, now let's try to close this gap. I might have an idea. This may not work. We will see though. A little bit of ingenuity. There we go. Clamp idea worked. I have a good thought every now and then. Now I'm gonna run my bracing. I'm going 32 inches of center. That'll be 32 inches from the inside of the 4x4. I'm doing that on both sides. And this was a good time. I used up some really bad warped boards I had in the shed. What's my famous catchphrase? Well, it's another day. I have my 2x2 set up on the saw. I got my stop block set to 44.5 inches. I figure that's a good size for the roof. Give me about an inch overhang with the metal. I got a bunch of these to cut up, so I'm gonna knock them out real quick. And that's all the waste I have. It's about 11 inches. Everything was pretty much straight, except for this guy right here. Man, I could almost hit somebody around a corner with this one. It'd be some scrap wood. So now I got my saw set on a 45-degree angle. Got my stop block set on this side. So I could take my pieces, throw them in here, knock off the corners. It'll look a little better in my eye. And maybe I won't hit my head on it, or who knows. Just something for me to do. But this will make it quicker. So now I got 29 boards. What's that? 58 ends to cut off. Let me knock this out. Another thing I'm doing is trying to look for any bow in the board. Because in my thought, I don't want that bowing up or down. That might mess with my roof. So I probably want it sideways. So figure out which way that bow is going. Then I know which end to cut my angles at. Everything's finished. So my idea is get the two ends set. Then I'm gonna run a string line down, and then I could line up my other ones. Hopefully that'll make it quicker and easier. And everything looks straight. I'm just finding my center point. About an 8 1/4 to the bottom here on each side. And I think I'm gonna bring it in about a 1/2 inch. Just so I get away from this small edge. And it might look better. So since this is real skinny, I'm going with a fatter pilot bit. Christmas is around the corner. I might need some new drill bits. All right, I went just deep enough to get a little hole, so I mark it. Now instead of this real fat bit though, since this is going to be doing all the holding, I'm going to switch up and go with a little bit smaller bit, and hopefully it's still big enough it'll prevent any split out on the ends. Let's see. I don't see no split out. All right, I think we're good. Let me go do the other end, and then I'm gonna run this string line. Just got a little drywall screw. Just something to hold it. Now, I should have an idea of where my straight line is. I can just kind of butt the board right up next to it. Let's figure out my 16.5 to center. So it'll be 16.5 to edge. How do we look on my mark? Come out just a hair. Yeah, let's keep moving down the line. Finished. But I have one issue. If you follow the string, see, it starts going, looks like we have a dip in the roof right here. But my same measurements on the same post, from the post to the pallet, same distance. So I don't know what is going on with that. I might have to raise this 2x4 up a little bit, because I don't like that dip right there. I mean, I don't want water to pool up. But if we go to the other side, I mean, the other side looks about perfect. So, I'm not going to put the roof metal on top of this one yet. I might try to raise that up, see if I can get a little more slope on that other side. But we're going to rock and roll on this other one. I'm going to get the roof put on this one and see if we can get some metal on it. Hopefully this one will be nice and level, not like that one. But hey, you come to problems, you figure them out. That's how you learn. So close to being done, and I break my drill bit. But this side's looking pretty good with the string. Now, let's see if I can get this drill bit out of here. Yes, got it. Man, I am straight up running out of drill bits. I'm gonna have to step up a size, which won't matter. Only have a few more to go. I thought I hit record, so I cut a couple of these down the middle. I just took my angle grinder with a cutoff wheel and just went right down the peak of one of these. And now I'm figuring out the best way to cut this lip off, because this is going to be my edge. So I did try it with the angle grinder, but this is pretty boogered up looking. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to go back with my snips and cut this and make it look a lot better. This is way easier this way, and I think I get a cleaner cut. I don't know if it'll be the straightest. So now I'm taking my file, going down the edges just to knock off any rough spots. You know, lighten the chances of me getting cut up. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I give you a roof. How about that? That worked out pretty good. Now I got to figure out how much overhang I want, and I think the sides turned out pretty good. So I got about an inch overhang. Figure that'll work. All right, I was trying to figure out my screw situation for the metal. I got 1.5 inch screws, and I think they're too long. I did it on one of my scrap pieces to see how it drill through this board, and it popped out the bottom, and it split the board. So I might have to take these back and go with 1 inch. And man, I'm debating. I know they say you need to put screws down in the middle here, but if this don't flow water and it puddles up, I mean, I don't know, are these rubber washers gonna hold up pretty good? Or, I mean, I could put it in the top, but then I'm gonna get that bow action. I mean, I guess I'll go with the middle, and hopefully that'll work out. We won't have no leaking. If we do, I guess I go back with silicone or something, because I mean, I know they say put it in the middle, but that's for a roof on a house that has a pretty good steep angle. Well, I need to take these screws back though. I've been awful busy in the yard, been getting leaves up. They're falling like crazy. This be about 53 bags, 3 loads here. So I'll have to show you these little tie downs I got in the truck. It worked great. So I got 18 full bags loaded on the truck here. Man, I hope y'all understand. I've just been super busy. These woodsheds got put on the back burner. I've been dealing with leaves in the yard. We got a big family get together for Thanksgiving, like 20 folks. So we got a lot of food to cook, stuff to get together. And just been busy. The woodshed's been put on the back burner for now. I did realize my mistake though. The screws I bought were metal to metal. So when I went back to the store, I did get metal to wood. So I'm gonna get these installed and get them roofs finished up next week. Sorry for the long video. I had a lot in it. Man, I just couldn't edit it all out. Well, man, y'all have a blessed week, and I'll catch you on the next episode.